get real. How depressing. The dream world is beautiful, hopeful, kind, imaginative. The real world, so-called, is harsh, cruel, stupid, and meaningless. But we are told it is the only world that exists. Life after death is a delusion. Life before death is non-existent. Goddesses and gods, angels and nature spirits, fairy spirits, are hallucinations. No wonder antidepressive drugs are sold in billions and suicides increase among young people. How can we live without hope, joy, and eternal love? For me, space and time exist in total reality. It is all there, now. Space is a mighty spiral of planetary and stellar scenes that exist in eternity. Time is not a line with a beginning and an end. It is a radiating center that pierces through all galactic centers, and in every atom, every being. Fine words. I have discovered this on my own, not out of books or courses. I found my prophetic gift developed when I would say of the future, what actually did happen. As a child, I regarded myself as Olivia in Historyland. It was all there, and I could act in different chapters. I could come back to the book when I liked and become a little figure in coloured illustrations. I left the book through the margin. As I grew up, I would know when people were going to die. So when the time came, I would turn up during sleep hours to give a helping hand. I noticed that I would appear in the dying person's imagination as the immortal beloved. Only children seemed to like me as me. I could speak what I called think-thought language. This came out in the language of the person concerned. When I was visited by divine beings, they all spoke with an English accent. There is a psychic translator within the soul. As I grew older, I learned that what one psychically sees of future events can appear alarming. Yet this is not often the case, and they really happen. To give an example, I used to be horrified by psychic visits to future cities that were roofed in with vast halls, giant restaurants, restrooms, and long glassy corridors. I thought it was frightening, inhuman. After all, I was living in the deep Irish countryside. Years later, on a visit to Dublin, I was amazed to find a huge building complex exactly as I had once seen it in vision. This was my first experience of a shopping complex, replete with all the restaurant shops, roofed in, and I liked it. After all, the people were friendly, not aliens, and the food was good, the shops fun. So much for my prophetic fears. So, which is the real world, the astral spheres of beauty which we long for, or the so-called real world all around us, that most people just accept as the only reality? Before I studied Ishtar alchemy, I would have believed that heaven was eternal, real. This world was only an illusion created as a learning experience, preparing us for better things. To despise the world, to seek higher spiritual being, was taught in practically every spiritual book I read and believed in. But as we move away from the patriarchal intellectual ladder on the philosophical hierarchy, a ladder with good at the top and bad at the muddy bottom, we were all actors of love, eating, drinking. We're all actors of love, eating, drinking, sport, fun, a temporary delusion. Did I need to disappear into some New Age hermitage? Of course. I could include the earth, material existence, within the divine whole. Answer for me, yes. You don't defeat evil by fighting it, ignoring it, hating it. You recycle it much as we recycle organic compost. Mother Nature's not profligate, as is assumed. Every atom, you name it, is part of the almighty whole, which includes galaxies and the feared black holes. After all, black holes are a womb. They're tunnels between the spheres of being, from one state to another. I receive from the realm of spirit a handy method of achieving harmony with diversity. Take a long strip of paper and write a horizontal line of emblems of religions, political parties, people, species, whatever interests you. They are all, of course, separate. Now fold the paper in squares, a separate square for each emblem. Take a sharp instrument and pierce the thickness of the folded paper. Thus each emblem, one separate, are one. You can call the paper space or love, the instrument time or truth. By identifying the center, you can happily travel the spheres, knowing that infinite variety is yet linked through divine center. Reality is where you are now.